Hey guys, welcome back to the ride. In this week's video, we are riding the 2021 Goldwing Tour DCT. And today's ride will take us beyond tree line, up to 14,000 feet above sea level. We are riding all the way to the top of Mount Evans, Colorado. And on today's ride, we are riding two up once again, with Mrs. High on the back, and I think we're carrying around 25 pounds of luggage. As we're visiting higher altitude, we brought some extra water and layers of clothing packed in the top case, as well as our usual touring gear. We're hoping to get ahead of the weather this morning, as they are calling for afternoon storms. So we'll be riding straight to the top without stopping to try and stay ahead of any weather that might be coming in this afternoon. As I've mentioned before in other videos, we always bring extra layers of clothing, as temperature swings can be 30 degrees plus at this altitude. But thus far, we're only seeing partly cloudy skies with plenty of sunshine. So hopefully that'll help us as we make our way to the top. Okay, so this is a great view looking down on tree line. So as I'd stated before, tree line is 12,000 feet. So we're well above 12,000 feet, and our end destination will be at 14,000 feet. So this is obviously one of the more scenic rides that Colorado offers. It's breathtaking. On a clear day like we have today, just with a few clouds in the sky, you can see miles off into the distance. You get a great view of the Rocky Mountains that we enjoy here in Colorado. Some of the key performance aspects of the 2021 Goldwing Tour DCT that we will be demonstrating include low speed handling and cornering while riding two up, engine performance above 12,000 feet, and suspension performance in undulating terrain. Some of the asphalt near Summit Lake is in pretty bad shape due to permafrost conditions at this altitude. This causes the soil under the road to distort the grade of the road, causing pits and hills in the road, almost like whoops in a dirt bike trail. So navigating that environment while riding two up will be a challenge. Also, the road to the top of Mount Evans is full of 180-degree switchback turns as we get closer to the top. This is where the low-end torque provided by Honda's 6-cylinder opposed 1833 cubic centimeter engine will be critical to controlling the bike's over 848-pound curb weight at low-speed cornering. The instantly available torque should make it a breeze to navigate these challenging maneuvers. Let's talk a bit about high altitude engine performance. It is understood that a naturally aspirated engine loses around 3 horsepower per 1,000 feet above sea level. So if we take the stated 125 horsepower that the Honda Boxer engine provides, provides at sea level. We'd actually be getting around 89 horsepower at 12,000 feet and closer to 83 horsepower as we approach the 14,000 foot peak. That would be around a 34% reduction in available power. I guess we'll wait and see how much more the engine starts to grunt as we get closer to the top. Okay, so the area coming up on the right is Summit Lake. It sits nestled atop Mount Evans at 12,836 feet and is surrounded by an alpine tundra landscape. Rare alpine and Arctic plants inhabit the area, some species of which only occur here and the Arctic Circle. So that's pretty cool. So this is the area I was referring to earlier. Around Summit Lake is where we have the permafrost conditions, and we can really begin to test the suspension response in the 2021 Goldwing Tour. So Mrs. High is on the back, and she's hanging on right here. So there's a lot of pits and hills. I don't know if the video really does it justice, but I don't know if one knows with this car. It's a definitely undulating road, and the suspension is taking on most of it. We can definitely feel it in the cockpit, but it's a pretty rough area, especially for any kind of road bike to be coming through here. But the Goldwing is handling it well for us. Okay, so as we continue to climb up in altitude, if you listen, I can definitely tell the grunt of the engine is beginning to change. We still have plenty of power, and we are coming up on the first 180-degree switchback. So making this corner here, riding 2 up, you see this car coming around. So here I'm applying a little bit of brake, keeping the gas on, keep the torque up, and just make the turn. So that's the first of several switchbacks that we're about to encounter. And this is a great example of the low speed maneuvering capability of the Goldwing. So here we are riding 2 up, and the outside turns are easier because you just have more road to work with when you're going around the outside of the turn of the switchback. But it's handling great, guys. So this, I have full confidence here. I'm passing riders, and previously we had that undulating terrain and all these things that maybe a less experienced rider would maybe get shooken up by. And I've seen a few touring bikes laid over in some of these corners, and it's really just based on inexperience, I think. But I mean, for us riding 2 up, and we have luggage, the Goldwing still provides in this hostile environment. It has the torque and horsepower. So when I was making those 2 switchbacks, and we've got more coming up ahead here, it's once again confidence inspiring. You just give it, I use a little bit of the rear brake there. That's just kind of a habit on other bikes when I'm coming into a corner, and I keep the power on, and then you just kind of turn into the corner. I mean, it's just, it's easy to say, but with a little bit of experience. And I will say as well, back to the low center of gravity on the Goldwing, riding in these conditions, it definitely is different. I've been on other bikes with a higher center of gravity, especially riding 2 up. It's not the same experience. The Goldwing does a great job of simplifying the ride in the sense of the low center of gravity, the torque down low. You have enough horsepower that once you're derated at altitude, you still have more than enough power to get you through the ride. So I'll stop talking right up here so you guys can hear. So that's another corner there, and you could really hear the DCT shifting in those corners. You can tell the engine's really working at this higher altitude. Okay, so this is where we begin to use some of the other environmental accessories. We're getting down below 50 degrees. And as you saw back there, I activated my heated grips and my heated seat. When the video gets darker, it's because we're in overcast, and that shadowing, it's a big difference in temperature. So we're both wearing layers through this area as we get closer to the top, but it's still nice. And I'll say another thing, mad respect to these guys riding bicycles up Mount Evans. I mean, you're talking about Iron Man. Just once we get off the bike at the top, just walking around, we drink lots of water while we're up here, because, your heart is just working double duty, just to pump blood. Your blood begins to thicken, and, we live at 6,000 feet, so we have, different levels of hemoglobin in our blood, so it makes our heart more efficient, but it's still, I can feel it. Now these guys who are exerting themselves to this altitude, my hat's off to them. So right in there in that turn, you can really hear the DCT working, shifting. If you can imagine the amount of load, I mean, the grade is pretty steep, climbing up the switchbacks, and then for that low speed cornering, and then just, keeping the torque on through those turns, the DCT is really working for us. So if you'll notice, the map, the navigation map, it shows you the cornering and the twisty environment that we're in here. And I've had previous videos that show, at speed or 10 mile over speed limit, cornering and that type of performance. But as I stated in my BMW review, this is the performance that we need, living in the Rocky Mountains and traversing this type of terrain, and the Goldwing just does it for us. It does such a great job. know, and I keep repeating myself, but that low center of gravity and that low end torque, I mean, it makes traversing this area at lower speeds, and, you know, dodging potholes and going around bikes and cars. It's just an amazing machine. You know, here it is at a limited capacity due to the altitude, and it still is getting the job done. So fantastic bike. I'm super pleased. This video is going to be pretty long, so I'm not going to show the coming down. Maybe I'll do a separate immediate video on the descension. But it's such a beautiful day. We're almost to the top here, and I hope everyone is still enjoying the video. It's another beautiful day in Colorado.